We meet again, Undertoads. Had a little technical difficulties, but you know what, Brandon? You know what I like to think?
What's that?
Even Emma Watson had technical difficulties when she tried streaming from the UN.
Yeah?
So
you would know.
I would know that because I also was in the comments complaining and bitching, saying what's going on. But so I understand you guys' pain, and that was Emma Watson. So if she makes mistakes, we can all make mistakes. How are you guys doing?
Hi.
This is Derek.
This is Brandon.
And we're here with another edition of CGR Undertow Live. Brandon, this week, do you know what this week was?
No.
I'm asking because I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. It was E3.
Yay.
Hooray.
We did it.
Brandon, are you hyped about E3?
Yes.
You look very hyped.
Mm-hmm.
You sound even more. Brandon looks about as hyped as he sounds. You know what the E3, you know what the 3 E's are?
Electronic Entertainment Expo?
No, it's enough already with the damn sequels. Whole freaking thing's a rehash, but we'll get to that in a minute. I want to tell you guys, we're here today to talk about E3. We're going to break all the important information, all the pertinent stuff down for you. But before we get to that, I want to tell you, today's CGR Undertow Live is brought to you by the new CGR app. Brandon, did you know we have an app?
Yes.
And the best part of our app?
What?
The whole entire thing is just a slideshow of me.
Yeah?
Actually, that's not true. I proposed that and it got shot down. What the app really is it's a free download on iOS and Android. And what it does is, you know how you're subscribed to all these channels and you never know when things go up? You have that problem, Brent.
Every day.
Every day of your life. You're like, I want to know when the new CGR Undertow video is, but I don't have time to get, there are computers and wires involved. No more. With the app, all you do is we'll send you a little notification. It's like getting a text message from me, only without the profanity. And it tells you exactly when the new video is up, and then you can go watch it for the day. How about that, Brandon?
Yay.
And it's free, and you can download it now on iOS and Android. So, CGR app. You should get it. You should get it now. Anyway,
E3.
Welcome to the show, everyone. I'm Derek. Brandon's here. We're going to talk about E3, and I got news for you. I'm not real thrilled about it. Brandon, I don't know about you.
I'm fine with it. I didn't come out disappointed in the fact that... See, here's some backstory. I own the Xbox One.
You're an Xbox One.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, I could have bought a PS4. I'd planned on it, but...
so why did you get an Xbox One?
It was cheaper.
So you're poor.
Yeah.
Okay. Continue.
And it looks like it has better exclusive games. Okay. So that's what I went with. But that's not to say I wouldn't have bought a PS4
in retrospect,
if it wasn't cheaper.
Would you have gone with the PS4? All things being equal.
Sure. Up until the point I bought an Xbox One, I was planning on buying a PS4. The thing is, I don't care. I could have bought either one.
Well, and I think that is going to be a running theme for today's show. You don't really, to tell you the truth, I have never been more apathetic about an E3 in my entire life. I don't know about you, Brandon, but everything I watched from E3, I just went, okay, yeah, I got it. Video games. It's not really as impressive to me anymore as it once was. I don't know about you.
They're fun to watch.
They're fun to watch, but I don't feel the hype that I used to. And this, I don't know. For me, that was symptomatic of E3 this year. It was just, feels like the industry to me has reached a point where it's so obsessed with itself, which I can relate to, believe me. But it's so obsessed with just how awesome we are. The whole thing's just a pep rally, and I don't know. I've lost interest. Was kind of disappointed in E3, but we don't really have a plan. We're not. I mean, look at us. We look like. So we don't have a plan. What do you guys want to talk about? I think we were gonna start with Nintendo because that's one that I obviously know the most about. But Brandon, is there anything you'd rather talk about first?
No, that's fine.
All right.
We're watching the chat, so any comments or questions or what your favorite thing was, shout it out and we'll amplify it.
Young Street says Derek is old and crotchety. And yes, I am. I'm very old and crotchety. I may only be 31, like Link057 says, but I feel 51. Thanks, video games. You've aged me prematurely. But anyway, I think we should start with Nintendo, partially because I'm the boss around here. I'm the one who makes these decisions. Also, that seems to be the one everyone's talking about in a bad way. Brandon, there's like a petition. Did you hear about this petition?
No.
There's a petition. There's some petition on the internet. People are so pissed off about Nintendo's E3 digital event that they're actually petitioning Nintendo to like cancel certain games and stuff. So there's a lot of controversy with Nintendo right now.
Why are they mad?
And they're mad because they're gamers.
Oh, okay.
And I find that they're pretty much mad about everything. But anyway, Nintendo's conference, I got to tell you, it started off pretty great because, did you watch it, Brandon?
Yeah.
Did you see the puppets?
Yeah.
I have maintained for a long time that puppets are the future. And so when I saw Nintendo with puppets, I was very thrilled. And also, I got to say this. Look, I'm not here to tell you Nintendo had the best show, because I don't think they did. They probably had the worst show. And it was one of the worst shows that I can remember them having at E3. But what I will say, I appreciate the tone of Nintendo's press event more than anyone else's, because everyone else they're up there beating their chest. Within the first 5 minutes, Sony and Xbox were both talking about hardware power. And we're going to push the boundaries of hardware power. Look at us flex our hardware power. Nintendo opens with puppets. They're talking about having fun. And to me, that's my problem with the video games today, is I want more of that. I want more puppets. I want more fun. And at least Nintendo delivered in terms of tone. At least they get it. Sorry, I'm getting all angry just thinking about this, but Brandon, I want more puppets.
I like the puppets. That was yeah. I agree. That was probably the best part.
That was the best thing about the show.
I don't own a Wii U. I don't plan on owning a Wii U.
It didn't sell you?
That didn't really. Nothing there that they showed really sold me.
Well, so
that's not to say, Nintendo's off or anything.
No, well, I think part of it, and we're gonna get to the specifics here, but part of it is they do these streams. It seems like once every week they're doing some kind of Nintendo Live event where they're streaming. And I feel like people know every little detail about every little game months before it even comes out. So people are already overloaded on information. So E3 comes along and I don't know what they expect. They already know everything. So I think it's partially, it's too much information out there. So that when it comes time for E3, because it wasn't always like that. It used to be that this was the only time you had like events and things like that, was just E3. So you had all year building up to the one event where you get all your information. But now it's like freaking Splatoon. They did 18 million roughly. We'll do the math on that later, but I think it checks out. They did about 18 million hours of footage of that game before it even released. So I think that's part of it, is you're building up expectations by giving people too much as it is.
Nostalgia Nerd says the Muppet section was awesome, but the games they showed were very lackluster.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that was my whole problem. Is what was it? Star Fox Zero was probably the biggest thing they showed.
So the biggest game, and they started with it, was Star Fox. And I gotta tell you, I'm happy with Nintendo's tone of their thing, but Reggie opens by saying they open with Star Fox. And then Reggie stands there on the live event and says, "We never let our franchises stand still." After he showed off the second Star Fox 64 remake that they've done in as many freaking years. So, I don't know. There's a little bit of hypocritical BS going on there. People talk... But that's the thing. People were getting on Nintendo for rehashing. Everything at E3 was a rehash. Everything... What was it? Halo 5 and Fallout 4 and Gears of War 4 and all these games. It's like they're all rehashes. You can't pick on Nintendo for that. But anyway, they showed Star Fox. It looks better than I had expected, even though it's half remake. Like, I want a new Star Fox game.
Yeah.
I mean, I've played Star Fox 64. I love it, but I don't need to play it again with prettier graphics.
Was there anything new?
Well, that's the weird thing. They said, like, Miyamoto said it's not a remake, but it's not a new game either. Well, then what the hell is it?
Well, not even Star Fox. Just, I assume there's. I mean, I watched it, but I was kind of in and out. There was nothing new. No
like
IPs,
new games at all from Nintendo.
Anything.
No. Well, so they announced a new Zelda for 3DS. That was kind of cool. It's a multiplayer focused Zelda. It kind of reminds me of Four Swords for the GameCube. So that's kind of cool. But I don't know. Maybe it's just not that I'm not a big handheld guy. But to me, the handheld Zeldas are always like the side Zeldas to the main course on the console. So I sort of automatically kind of like zone that out. I'm like, oh yeah, of course, another handheld Zelda. But then, so they talk about that, and then this was like the Zelda portion of the show. They talked about they're porting Hyrule Warriors, which was a Wii U game, to the 3DS. But they did not talk about the new Zelda. So people were already set up for disappointment because they wanted the new Zelda. But then right after that, they announced Metroid Prime Federation Force. And I think that was the worst possible placement for that game announcement, because I know a lot of people are upset about that game. And I think announcing it after they talked about Zelda that wasn't the new Zelda, people were already angry about that, and then seeing a Metroid Prime game that isn't a new Metroid Prime game really pushed people over the edge. Did you see the Metroid game, Brandon?
Yeah.
it looks like Metroid Prime Wii Sports type. It just looks like a mini game of Metroid themed game, which is really bizarre. I don't know why it exists, but I guess there are already petitions about it, like people complaining. It's like you don't have to play it, you know what I mean? But anyway, so at Nintendo's event, they didn't have a lot that really resonated with me. A couple of Animal Crossing games. So you're a big Animal Crossing.
Yeah, but nothing. Well, it's
like
the minigame thing, and what was the other one?
The Amiibo one, where it's like Animal Crossing, Amiibo, Mario Party. Basically, all it is it's an excuse to sell more Amiibo. That seems to be what the whole thing is. So, but hey, they're making a lot of money from that. I'll tell you what thing they did show that I was happy about. Mario Tennis. Finally, a new Mario Tennis for the Wii U. And what I actually wanted was a new Mario Tennis for the Wii. I don't know why they waited till now to do it. You had a console that had Wii Sports Tennis, which is like the best tennis game ever. Why didn't they do a new Mario Tennis then? I don't know. But I don't know. I'm at least happy about that. The big one that for me from Nintendo's thing, other than Star Fox, was Super Mario Maker. Brandon, are you into games where you like make crap?
No, not really. But from what I've heard, that's a pretty cool game.
Yeah.
And it seems like there's more gamey aspects to the actual building. Than just build it.
And it seems way more intuitive than a game like Little Big Planet. It's very confusing and sort of hard to try to figure out how to do this stuff. Mario Maker looks really simple and really intuitive, so I'm actually really excited about it. And like I said, I'm not even a big fan of make your own crap games, but I think I can only imagine how much cool stuff people are going to make with that game. So I'm really excited to actually to play it and play what other people make, not necessarily make stuff myself. I'm way too lazy for that. But I will play what you guys make. Make me some cool levels. I'll play them for you because I'm very excited about that. But in a nutshell, I mean, that was Nintendo's conference. It was just like, again, I think they obviously didn't want to talk about the next system, the NX code name. So they didn't want to talk about that. They wanted to focus on stuff coming now to Wii U and to 3DS. And so, they're only talking about stuff that's coming out like this holiday and next spring. I think gone are the days of, when they would announce Twilight Princess freaking 2 years in advance. And then people had that game, I don't know if you remember this, Brandon, but people had Twilight Princess pre-ordered for like 2 years before it ever came out. So I think Nintendo sort of learned their lesson from that, because ever since then, it's sort of taken the Apple approach where they're like, they announce stuff on stage. They're like, by the way, this is out tomorrow. Nintendo's not that extreme about it, but they're sort of taking a similar approach where they're only talking about stuff that's ready or in the immediate future, which, and that's the thing. People already know what's in the immediate future, so there's not much for them to really talk about. Someone in the chat who says Jeff DeBox says there was a new Mario Tennis on Wii. No, there wasn't. There was a Mario Tennis on Wii. It was not a new Mario Tennis. It was just the GameCube one with Wii controls. But anyway, so that was Nintendo. Here's a real highlight of their show: Mario and Luigi Paper Jam. I really think, and I'm not even a big RPG guy, but I think some of Nintendo's best ideas in the last couple years, their most creative and charming ideas, have come from their Mario and Luigi series, and it seems to be continuing with Paper Jam, which basically combines Paper Mario models and like 3D Mario into one Mario and Luigi RPG. It looks really cool to see like a 3D Mario character interacting with Paper Mario little flat character. It just looks really cool. I think there's some interesting gameplay possibilities there, so that looks interesting. Mario and Luigi coming back strong. Brandon, do you like those games?
Yeah. Paper Mario, especially. I played a lot of Paper Mario, but
the very first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks interesting.
Yeah.
I also think the Yoshi game looks pretty.
Oh yeah.
Looks pretty.
Oh, Yoshi looks adorable.
I don't know if that'll keep me interested.
You don't think so?
I think it looks pretty, yeah.
I'm really excited about it. Although I am also a guy who thinks Kirby's Epic Yarn was one of the top 3 Kirby games ever. I love that game. So to see it sort of come back, it's sort of a spiritual sequel, where you're getting a Yarn Yoshi game. I was actually kind of disappointed about that. I wanted another Yarn Kirby, but if we're not going to get it, maybe the series isn't Yarn Kirby. Maybe it's just Yarn. So maybe next time we'll get Yarn something else, like a Yarn. You know what we're gonna get? We're gonna get Yarn Metroid, and everyone's just gonna vomit all over themselves on the internet. And I can't wait for that to happen. See, I feed on that kind of stuff, the kind of suffering that the lack of Metroid brings. Because at this point, I don't expect new Metroid anymore. So I take joy in everyone else still expecting Nintendo to know what the hell to do with Metroid. They don't know what to do. They should hire me. I would know what to do with Metroid. Basically, I would just lock Retro Studios in a dark room and force them. I would staple their eyelids open and force them to watch Alien over and over for 8 hours. And I would say, go make Metroid. It would be the greatest game ever. Also, I would probably have a loss. I would make enough money off that game that it wouldn't matter. I have ideas. CGR. Anyway, so that was Nintendo. We'll get some other stuff here. But I also wanted to mention all the crap that happened at E3, all the games that were announced, all the games we're talking about today. Maybe you missed some of these long, boring press conferences. You want to see what we're talking about. Hey, check out CGR Trailers. Today's CGR Undertow Live is also brought to you by CGR Trailers. Brandon, have you ever wondered, man, I would love to see all these games.
Every day.
I just don't know where to go. I go to the park, but they're not there. I go to go to department stores. Where do you find these trailers? They're nowhere to be found. Turns out they're right on classicgameroom.com. Or you can just go to the CGR Trailers channel at youtube.com/CGR Trailers. It has all these trailers. You can watch them. You can catch up on all the big news that you missed because you had a life and couldn't sit in front of the computer for 12 hours. Watching all these people bore you to death with sequel after sequel. Boy, that's a ringing endorsement. It's CGR Trailers for all your trailers and E3 needs. We have an army of robots pumping up a lot of trailers. Pretty much everything good that happened at E3, you can see it on CGR Trailers.
Which one do you want to do next?
But I don't know. Young Street brings up a good point in the chat. At least Nintendo's making games, and I think that to me, that's one of the things that I appreciate about Nintendo, is the fact that, man, like within 5 minutes, the other conferences just annoyed me, talking about power and just taking it so freaking serious, and everything's a movie now. Every video game trailer looks like a George Lucas movie. Everything's crazy. We'll get to George Lucas later. But at least with Nintendo, it's like they're still making video games the way I know and want video games to be. Very simple and old school. All of a sudden, Nintendo's the most old school game developer of them all. They're all talking about the future. Nintendo's the only one that seems to be worried about the present. So I don't know. I appreciate that about Nintendo, but to each their own. Boy, I guess we could talk about Sony.
Yeah.
Brandon wanted a PS4, but he's too poor to afford one.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon, do you want a PS4 now even more?
The thing is, there's no real exclusives on the PS4.
I noticed that.
So the third-party stuff I can already play on my Xbox. So
Yeah.
at this point, I mean, with the exception of Uncharted 4 and The Last Guardian,
Yeah.
which Eco and Shadow of the Colossus were amazing games. I'll wait for those to come out before I really even need to buy a PS4.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing I noticed about the PS4 is it seemed like every announcement they made, it's coming to PlayStation first. It's like, yeah, but it's not coming to PlayStation only. It's coming there first. I heard a lot of those announcements at the PS4 conference. I don't know. The thing about the Sony conference, it was also like the Nintendo conference. It was kind of a lot of more of the same. For me, that was the E3. That was the core message I got from E3. It's like video games, business as usual. Nintendo's got a new Star Fox. Sony's got a new Uncharted. Nintendo's got some Animal Crossing games. Oh, look, Microsoft has a new Halo. It's just, I don't know. It seems like, it's just, if I had to write down a cartoon making fun of E3, it would have been this year's E3. Just over-the-top trailers and sequels.
I mean, they're doing a lot better. The last 2 years, it's mostly been sequels or HD remakes of previous generation games. It seems like there's definitely some newer things coming out, some new IPs that there's definitely a lot of old stuff that they're remaking, but
Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you excited about that?
No,
me neither.
No.
I'm not a big listen, and I felt during Nintendo's conference when it got a little too JRPG, I sort of zoned out. Not my scene. But yeah, I mean, I don't know that. And the thing is that there were a couple exclusives for the PS4. If someone mentioned Horizon in the yeah, there were a couple, but those, it's funny. Like when they announce new stuff, it's almost like the crowd was just like, okay, yeah, sure. waiting. They were just kind of waiting for the next big sequel. And I don't know. It's like they've been conditioned to only cheer for and be excited about the things they know. I got that feeling from Sony's.
Well, the problem is everything's so expensive to make. The safe bet is to just make things that people already know about, name recognition.
Yeah,
So,
and man, just looking at some of the games, especially Sony showed off, they look so expensive. My God, they look like they cost so much money to make and took so much time. And to me, that's like, I don't know, I talk about this a lot, but I don't see how that's a sustainable model for the gaming industry. You see so many studios closing because their game only sold, like, oh, it only sold 2 million copies. That's not enough. We needed it to sell 12 million. We needed it to be Call of Duty. Not every game's going to be Call of Duty, but they all cost that much. You know what I mean? I don't know. It seems to me a dangerous path.
well, I think that's why you see so many indie games coming out now, and definitely Microsoft and Sony are both supporting getting behind indies, and you kind of see the big AAA tier games coming out. There's less and less of them, but in place of that, you kind of see these new interesting indie games that are finding a place on the new systems.
Made by like a guy on his Mac at Starbucks.
Yeah.
You know. So, but that's the thing. It's like it's the haves and the have-nots in gaming now. There is no more middle ground of just interesting-looking games that have a decent enough budget. You know, it's either these underground kind of indie games that you need to know about, and the major stuff that your mom has heard about. Halo, Call of Duty. But anyway, yeah. So, I don't know, what do you guys want to talk about with E3?
Greg asks if we're impressed with VR.
I just don't
care. I know
care.
you have an opinion.
You have an opinion on it?
I think it'll be here eventually.
Yeah.
I think this is the very, very early stages. But it seems like everyone who's tried it, and I would definitely love to try it eventually, but seems to be blown away by, what it can actually do. The thing I guess we'll have to see is if there's interesting enough games, or if it's just going to turn into the Kinect.
That's the thing. I think I'm burned on the gaming industry telling me what the next big thing is. If first it was the list goes on and on. For the Wii is going to change the way we control games forever, and then Nintendo abandons motion control with the very next console. And then Microsoft's Kinect is going to change everything, and then they just drop it completely. I'm so tired of being told everything's going to change when it's not. Just not. So I'm a little jaded on the idea of VR. I don't know if it's going to work. I feel like this is something that we've been chasing for years. This idea that we're going to put on this headset and be inside the video game, like that X-Files episode where Mulder and Scully are in the shooter, and the hot chick kills Mulder. Did you ever see that, Brandon?
No.
Well, that's your homework for today. Go watch that episode.
Okay.
So because I feel like that's what everyone thinks it's going to be, but I don't have faith that it's going to be that. I don't know. I don't have faith that we're ever going to get to that point where I feel like I'm in the video game, and that's what people want. They don't just want a game where I can look all around me and it clearly looks like a screen, but at least I can look all around me. I don't think that's what people want. I think they want the full I'm in the game experience, and I don't.
From what I hear, it sounds like that's what it's doing. It's just the developers are still trying to figure out what makes that fun for games. I think it sounds like they can put you into a world and you can feel like you're actually there. It's just once you're in there, what do you do?
What do you do?
But the difference between VR and something like motion control, I think, makes it seem like it's actually going to work is the amount of money that companies are putting into this.
Yeah.
And it seems like, Facebook, Steam, Microsoft, Sony all are putting a ton of money into actually making this thing succeed.
Yeah. Someone brought up my point on VR is garbage. I have one. The only people that buy it are game devs. And to me, that's like, I feel like the people who are really excited about it are people in the industry, and they're so insulated in the industry that, like, I feel like.
At this point, it's not a mass product. It's still
right.
There's no official VR thing anywhere. No one's selling anything yet. So yeah, no one's gonna have it yet.
But isn't that the thing? Like you even said, oh, people. They can put you in the world, but what's fun about it? I feel like they're so excited about just the idea of doing it. It goes back, listen, Jurassic World's out, right? And it's a fun movie. You should all see it. But it goes back to the first Jurassic Park where, the wise Ian Malcolm once said, that they were so focused on whether or not they could that they stopped. Should this exist? I don't know that it should. I don't know that it serves a purpose other than for the gaming industry to flex its muscles and go, look how amazing we can be. But I don't know. I'm very skeptical on it. And listen, I'd love to be proven wrong. There's nothing I'd love more than to be able to, particularly with movies, like if you can watch movies on it. Like if I could watch Jurassic World and feel like I'm in the forest with BDH, don't tell Emma Watson I said. That would be amazing. I would love to be in the forest with BDH, riding a velociraptor. But it's happening.
Well, we'll find out soon.
What happened to the days?
5, 10, 15 years from now.
Yeah, exactly. That's another thing. I don't see it happening anymore. The petition is awesome. Nintendo needs to wake up. I couldn't disagree with that more. I think video game petitions are the dumbest thing. I wish what's that website called? Change.org. They should shut that down because I'm so tired of video game petitions. People, that's my thing. Like, let's all take a step back during E3 and stop treating video games like they're like, we're putting them on a pedestal here, Brent. And what I'm saying is they're fun and whatever. Like, I don't know. I used to play Pac-Man to kind of unwind from the day. I didn't play it because I thought it was some masterful, important, culturally relevant piece of art that should, you know what I mean? Like, it's just fun. Let's just have some fun. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, we're going to talk more about E3. We're going to take some topics that you guys want to talk about. We don't really know what to talk about. We've kind of, I don't know, this is a true story. I just woke up like 20 minutes ago. And I just got here, and Brandon's like, hey, did you remember to prepare for today's show? And I tried to get back in my car and drive away, but he would not let me. Stood in front of me.
Yeah.
Your foot okay?
Yeah, it's cool.
Okay. So we're going to talk about whatever you guys want to talk about here coming up. But I also want to let you know, today's CGR Undertow Live is also brought to you. Look at all these sponsors we have. I mean, they're all ourselves because no one would sponsor me for obvious reasons. Today's CGR Undertow Live is brought to you by CGR Store. Did you know we have a store, Brandon?
Yes.
So here's the thing. You know, CGR Undertow has been going on for 5 years now. It's 5 years of my life, and I'm 31 years old. If you do the math on that, that means 1 day out of every 6 days of my life, I've spent here at CGR Undertow for you guys. We do it all for you. That's a long-ass time. And it's always free. For the last 5 years, we've had a video up at least one a day, every day, for half a decade. And we appreciate your support. But if you would also like to support financially, help get me in a Camaro, because as Brandon knows, I was born to be in a Camaro. And the fact that I'm not yet in a Camaro is very disappointing to all of us here at Classic. If you'd like to help make that happen, well, that's where you check out CGRstore.com. It's the store we have on our website, all kind of merch. Mark's got a lot of merch. It's where you can get all his comics and stuff. But CGR Undertow, you can support us directly. We have all kind of cool merch. We've got 2 t-shirts, Brandon. We've got a white one. We've got a white one and a black one. And they both have toads on them that I drew. And neither is a very intelligent toad, but they try really hard. And you can show your support for CGR Undertow in Classic Game Room by checking out those shirts. We've also got a pack of postcards. Like, you have to rate your grandma. We all know that. You should be rating her more often. Also, you should be putting me in a Camaro. You get to kill 2 birds with 1 stone by buying a pack of CGR Undertow mini poster postcards. It's like $5 for a pack of 5. $5 you can support CGR Undertow. And, of course, the crown jewel of our merchandise line, Brandon. You, of course, know what I'm talking about, right?
What?
It's our movie.
Oh, okay.
The CGR Undertow movie. A great big bunch of CGR Undertow. One of the top selling items on Classic Game Room. Like, all of Classic... Don't tell Mark this. But we're like one of the top selling items. We're outselling even some of his stuff. This is a big deal, this movie. I want you to know that. Don't tell Mark I said that, because then he will beat me mercilessly when he gets back from vacation. He's on vacation right now. That's why he's not here beating me right now. But anyway, all kind of stuff. You can support the show. CGRstore.com, or just check out ClassicGameRoom.com, where you can sign up and you can have all kind of fun on our website. Brandon.
Yeah.
E3.
E3.
I'm looking in the comments.
Jason asks, Xbox One compatibility with 360. What do we think?
I think it's overdue.
Yeah, I mean, kind of my thought was, 360 games are extremely cheap right now, and I'm still every once in a while picking up 360 games. But also don't want to have my 360 connected, so that's nice. And the fact that, you're getting all these digital games. If you're an Xbox Gold member, you're getting free 360 games every month. And that sucks to turn your 360 on. My 360 is basically dead. So if I could play those on my new fancy Xbox One, that's cool. Because my 360 ain't going to last too much longer. So, and I'm getting all these free games that I can't really play. So Yeah, I mean, it's a good value add thing, and I think their main goal is to bring people who haven't upgraded yet to get them over into the Xbox One experience.
Well, I really like that you can play online with 360 players. That's really cool. You can do that, right? You can play on your Xbox One.
I think so.
I think I heard that during the press conference. I don't know. I was very sleepy.
Someone can correct us on that.
I'm sure that they will. Tomb Raider. The texture quality on Lara Croft's ass is amazing. I'll take your word for it, Ruben Stell. What else? Compelling audio. We're certain.
What between the three, which I'm sure I know which one you like the best. Did anything stand out to you overall?
I think the game of the show for me was Battlefront. I looked at Battlefront, and that was the first time that I looked at a game on the PS4 or Xbox One that I said, this is the first time that I said I would like play that. I kind of wish I had that console. It's taken this long for them to get there, but that game looks really, really impressive. Did you watch that trailer, Brandon?
Yeah.
That show?
No, that's definitely one of the. I'm kind of burnt out on shooters, especially like Battlefield and Call of Duty, but I think that'll be cool.
Yeah, that looks really cool. No, I mean, I'm obviously interested in Star Fox, but like I said, I don't know. It's a lot of like business as usual. I was happy to hear about the backwards compatibility, although as a guy who mostly plays Nintendo stuff, I don't fully understand how that's not there from the start when it's always there from the start with Nintendo. I think that's one thing that they do right that the other two get wrong is that like the Wii U's backwards compatible 100% with Wii and right from the start. And the same thing with the Wii. It was 100% backwards compatible with GameCube. It wasn't select titles. Which that's the way I think it should be. I'm sure there are technical reasons it can't be on the other consoles.
I mean, that's all hardware related.
Yeah, I'm sure there are reasons. But I don't know. So to me, I'm always a big fan of backwards compatibility because video games are so freaking expensive. You invest all this money and then all of a sudden you're told you can't really play that anymore. You know, we're not going to support that. I think as video games become more and more of an investment in our lives, the video game industry needs to sort of future-proof some of these games a little bit. Obviously, they can't all the way, but if they can give you a couple more years of life out of your, hundreds of dollars, I'm sure some people in the chat, thousands that they've spent on their previous gen games, then yeah, I think that's a good thing.
It's really smart for them because now they make Sony look bad because Sony's charging you to replay the PS3 games that you already own.
Oh, so that was the dig they said where we're not going to charge you to play games you already own.
Yep.
Oh, burn Xbox. See, Brandon, that's why you got an Xbox because you're the kind of guy who burns like.
I know. Now I have all these extra games to play.
Yeah.
That I probably.
That I'm sure you'll get to. Someone asked why no Zelda Wii U. Well, I think the reason for that is, like we said, I think Nintendo's over. I think Nintendo's over the era of announcing games that, even talking about games that are still years away, or at least a year away. So. I think that you'll hear more about that when it becomes Derek for president of Nintendo. Boy, that would be a disaster for everyone involved. How much more time do we have left, Brendan?
None.
None. All right. Well, we'll take 3 more good questions. Shut this down. Because here's the thing, you guys. We got to do some video reviews for today. I don't know what do we have coming up this week.
I don't know. We got a bunch of stuff.
We got a bunch of stuff coming up.
I haven't made the schedule yet.
Brandon's the one who makes a schedule. I just make the lousy videos, and he's the one who decides.
We got some PS1 games, I think.
Yes, I found a stack of PS1 games. I will be reviewing them one by one, and that starts soon. Also, I want to tell you guys, we did some playlists. So these live shows that we've actually done a couple of these, but I know they're hard to find because we've done so many freaking videos. So what we've done is we've jumped on the playlist bandwagon, Brandon. And what we've done is we've taken all of our different shows that we have on the channel. We've got observations and frustrations as a playlist. So now you can watch all those shows in one playlist. They're right on the front page of the channel. And we're doing the same thing with CGR Undertow Live. If you missed this, guess what? It's going to be archived right in the playlist. You'll be able to watch this. You'll be able to watch our Festivus playlist, or our Festivus show that we did. We've done other shows. You can watch them. These make for great audio podcasts too. Although then you'd miss that beautiful picture of me, which, by the way, that's all Toad's thing. Big thanks to Gary from New Jersey. He made that for me.
It's very pretty.
It's unbelievable. I wanted to just have that up there all the time, but Brandon said no. Anyway, Mega Man Legacy Collection. Clearly, to me, that's proof Capcom has no idea what they're doing with Mega Man anymore, and they should sell it to Nintendo. Then they should sell Mega Man to Nintendo, and then he would be relevant again, and everyone would have fun with it. Take that, Capcom.
Peyton wants our opinion on Fallout 4.
Yeah, it looked like more Fallout 3, only better.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't know.
You a big Fallout fan, huh?
I mean, it's fine. It's like
Fallout is by far it's honestly the reason I haven't bought an Xbox One in the first place, besides the price, is I knew eventually I would be able to play Fallout 4. Any of those Bethesda games, whether it's Oblivion or Skyrim or Fallout 3, I mean, for whatever reason, the RPGs that they make like suck up hundreds of hours of my life.
Yeah.
And the exact same thing's going to happen this year, unfortunately. Because I'm super busy. But Fallout 4, I'm going to have to set aside a month just to play that.
It looks good. I mean, I'm not anti-Fallout 4. It's just my thing is like, you know, as you can tell based on that picture, I'm a cartoon guy. I like everything to be very cartoony and loud and colorful. And I think that's why I like Nintendo, because they're like the Disney of video games, and everything's just cartoons and silly and fun. So like a gritty, realistic shooter, I'm like, okay, I don't know. I'm not as interested in that. I'm more into aliens and cartoon characters. So that's just me. Metal Gear Solid. Did you even see the Metal Gear?
Not the new one.
I didn't see it
I've
either.
seen the older ones, but
I'll have to go back and watch. I mean, there's so much at E3, it's hard to catch everything. I did not see the new trailer for Metal Gear. Quick quack reviews. But again, I'm not like a huge Metal Gear fan. Are you, Brandon? It's a little cutscene-y for me. It's a little slow.
Yeah. Not as much with the new ones.
Yeah.
I like the first two.
On the
the
original.
Best, probably. Yeah,
Yeah.
the original PlayStation.
Yeah, I actually really like the first one. But then I'm not into my video games being movies, and there was a lot of that at E3 that angered me too. I was just really cranky about this whole E3 because I felt like I was watching a movie convention and not a video game convention, and that really bothers me.
Did you look at Cuphead? Two questions about that. I don't know.
Which
I
one was
said
Cuphead?
right before we went on, I think you would like the style of Cuphead.
All right, well then I'll check out Cuphead. That's one I must have missed. I think that redheaded, flat-chested girl that keeps. Oh, get out of here, Racer X Gundam. I was interested in that one from the makers of the Metroid Prime Recore. That looked cool. I think that was during the Xbox show. I don't remember, but that looked cool. What else? E3. 3 words. CGR Undertow games on Steam. Does he want us to make our own games?
Sure.
I don't know if that would work. So anyway, that was E3 in a nutshell for us. You know, it was fine. I didn't particularly get too excited about anything. I think that has more to do with me and just being a cranky old man than anything else. I would rather, and I think part of it is hanging around with Mark too much. Now all I want to do is just play old arcade games. I don't know, not terribly pumped about anything at E3, but it was fine. Western people want open worlds because one game. I actually like more into Western games than Japanese. See, we could do this all day, taking questions with you guys in the chat, because you're all so smart, and you're also in tune with what's going on in the business. We just chat about this for hours and hours, but unfortunately we can't do that. Brandon's going to have some edits to make. Oh yeah, Shenmue. Mark's very excited about that, I'm sure. I'm sure there will be a banner stapled to the wall when he gets back. Shenmue. Oh yeah, Doom 4, you know, it's fine too. I don't know. If you wanted hype, this was the wrong place to come. We're just kind of like, yep, looks good. Another game with a 4 in front of it and a 5. And that's video games. So anyway, oh, you're welcome, Quick Quack Reviews. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you all for tuning in to another exciting edition of CGR Undertow Live. Like I said, you can catch this in the playlist if you missed it. You can check out our new playlist of observations and frustrations videos. And I hope you all sincerely, I hope you enjoy the rest of the crap we have coming up this week and this weekend on CGR Undertow. Watch our Sonic Boom review if you missed it. Brandon, that's the greatest thing we've ever done.
Yeah.
So if you missed that, go watch our Sonic Boom review. Thanks for hanging out with us, Epic Quest Game. Thank you, Epic Quest Game. Oh, yeah, Mirror's Edge. Looks awesome, and I wish it was on Wii U. Thanks a lot, Reggie. This is Derek from Classic Game Room.
This is Brandon.
And thanks, guys. We'll talk to you soon in the future.